Hi everyone, Casey with Mangrove Designs here. Today I'm going to be walking you through using Rubio Monocoat to make a cerused finish on your hardwood piece of furniture. Okay, so here's what you're going to need to do this ceruse process. First, you got to make sure that your surface is completely clean. So we're going to vacuum the surface, then we're going to go over it with a tack cloth to make sure we get any residual dust off there. And then we're going to use the Rubio Monocoat cleaner with a microfiber cloth and wipe down the whole thing, and you'll be amazed at how much dust still pulls out of the grain. Once that all dries, then we're going to go back with our Rubio Monocoat pre-aging. This is the fumed intense. This is going to give it a dark gray hue. We're going to apply that with this microfiber cloth here. Once that cures, the next day we're going to come back with our Oil Plus 2C. We're going to be using a super white along with the accelerator. We're going to apply that with a paint spreader. Once that sets for a couple minutes, then we rub it in with a white scrubber, and then we wipe the rest off again with a microfiber cloth. Okay, so here you can see we're just going to start prepping our surface, taking the vacuum nozzle. Now I've got my hand guarding the end of it a little bit just so we don't scratch the surface. Even the plastic can leave little marks here and there. So we're just going to vacuum the surface off real well and get as much dust as we can off. So now after vacuuming the entire surface, I'm going back with a tack cloth to try to pull as much of that fine sawdust off of the surface and out of the grain as possible. You can see I'm going to change sides, refolding as we go to get to a clean surface of the tack cloth and get this surface of the bench top as clean as possible. So now the surface is completely vacuumed. We've wiped it down with a tack cloth. And now we're going with our Rubio Monocoat cleaner and a white microfiber towel. You don't have to apply a lot of this product. I usually just put it right onto the microfiber cloth and make sure that you rub down the surface in its entirety. And here you can see how much sawdust is still stuck in that grain. You can see the white side of the microfiber towel, and then you can see the sawdust on the other, even after vacuuming in tack cloth. And here's just a real fast time lapse of the cleaner drying on the surface. Took about 15 minutes, but you can see how it goes from wet to dry fairly quickly. And now that the cleaner is completely dry, we're going to be using our pre-aging intense fumed along with the microfiber applicator. You can also purchase that through Rubio Monocoat. Now with this, I like to pour it directly onto the applicator, not onto the surface. Just feel like I can control it a little more. You don't have to be really careful with how you apply this. It will not leave lap lines, so you don't have to go in straight lines or make sure that you're overlapping perfectly and wiping everything off immediately. You just go ahead and apply it. Keep adding a little more to that microfiber applicator as you go, making sure that you cover everything with a nice even coat and make sure you get all your edges.
after it sits for a few minutes, I just like to go back with a microfiber cloth and just wipe off any excess.
Okay, so we've got our Rubio mixed up here, 3 parts of the oil plus 2C, 1 part of the accelerator. And you see it doesn't take much to get a project like this done. A little bit goes a long way. So after this is set, take a tack cloth or microfiber cloth, make sure it's dust free again, and then you'll see how easy this is to apply. You just take your plastic card scraper here. There's really no rhyme or reason. The beautiful thing about Rubio is it only bonds to the wood. So you're not going to get overlap lines. It doesn't bond to itself. Once it sticks to the wood, that's it. You don't have to use a card scraper to put this on. You can use just your white scrub pad. What I like to do is put it on like this first with the scraper, and then I'll go back with a white Scotch-Brite pad and really work it into the grain. On a large table, you probably want to do a small area, a little bit at a time, because you want it to set for just a couple minutes to work it in. And then within 15 minutes of application, you need to go back with a microfiber cloth or any kind of lint-free rag, and you're going to buff off any excess. A lot now are using electric buffers with a Scotch-Brite pad to remove the excess also, or to even work it into the surface. So now I take my white Scotch-Brite pad, and you're going to get enough excess on this pad. I like to just use this for the edges once I really get it worked in with the pad here and start getting some absorption on the pad. It's just a little easier than the card scraper on the edges. Okay, so we're just gonna let that set for 4 or 5 minutes, let it bond, and then we'll go back and we'll buff it off. Okay, so we let this set for just a little bit. We're gonna go back with a couple of microfiber towels, and we're just gonna buff off any of the excess. See how gorgeous this is already. Cerused finish. Full usage in 24 to 36 hours after this is curing, but you can manipulate it right now. Let it sit for like 15 minutes, be able to attach it to the bench over here later today, and client can pick it up in 24 hours. Hope this helps. Enjoy.